From the House of Israel in Cincinnati, Ohio, 2330 Kemper Lane, bringing to you in 40 minutes or less. In 40 minutes or less, I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the word of Yahweh. Who is this Yahweh? Yahweh is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein. Yahweh is the Elohim of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh is our judge. Yahweh is our lawgiver. Yahweh is our king, who will save us. Shalom, and praise the mighty Yah. Welcome to another program of 40 minutes or less. In this 40 minutes or less program, lesson number 11, we will bring to you 8 more words of Yah. These 8 words will be taken from Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter. And let me read this Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, because in this chapter, the Almighty let our people know when they come to the land, the Holy Land, where he chose to place his name, that they were to bring these 8 different things. And these 8 different things are offerings that Yahweh said he would accept from the people. It reads as follows in the book of Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, and I'll start reading at the 2nd verse. It says, "You shall destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains, upon the hills, and under every green tree. And ye shall overthrow their altars, break their pillars, burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. Ye shall not do so unto Yahweh your Elohim, but unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose, out of all the tribes to put his name there. Even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and there shall ye come. And there ye shall bring your burnt offerings, number 1. Your sacrifices, number 2. Your tithes, number 3. The heave offerings of your hand, number 4. Your vows, number 5. Your free will offerings, number 6. And the firstlings of your herds, number 7. And of your flocks, number 8. And we're going to talk about these different various offerings that the Creator required us to bring to him. So let us get right into it. The first one is called a burnt offering. And here the Almighty said, since we're in Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, this is what he said. We'll look at the 11th verse, where the Almighty reiterated this in Deuteronomy 12 and 11. Then there shall be a place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. It's all about where his name is. There shall you bring all that I command you. And the first thing he said is your burnt offerings. And we have to understand that. He said it again in the 13th verse. Take heed to thyself that thou offer not thy burnt offerings in every place that thou seest, but in the place which Yahweh shall choose in one of the tribes, there thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, and there thou shalt do all that I command thee. So the Almighty was very specific about these burnt offerings. It is the law. You'll find this in the book of Leviticus. Turn there. Talking about the burnt offerings. One of the first of the 8 offerings that the Creator said we should bring to Him. And watch what He says. And Yahweh, Leviticus 1:1. And Yahweh called unto Moshe and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yahweh, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even a herd, and of the flock. And watch what he says. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yahweh. And of course, this is when we was in the wilderness. But once we got to the Holy Land, the Almighty had a place that out of all the tribes that we can bring this offering. And what makes the burnt offering different? The burnt offering was different because the burnt offering, that it was a offering that was burnt whole. In other words, the herd or the cattle or what we were burning, it was burning, the whole thing. You'll read this in the book of Leviticus, the 6th chapter, and I'll start reading at the 8th verse. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night until the morning. And the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. So that's what a burnt offering is. Everything is burnt in it. Nothing is left. All is consumed. No one can eat it. There's nothing left of it. And it's burning all night until it is totally consumed. The second word is the word sacrifice. Because we just dealt with a burnt offering. But this is what the Most High said about a sacrifice, which is a little bit different. A burnt offering can be a sacrifice. But it's not just, sacrifices are not just burnt offerings. That's why one must know the difference. Again, this is what the Creator said in Deuteronomy 12. If we go back to Deuteronomy 12, you will see that the sacrifice is the second type of offering that the Creator spoke about. In Deuteronomy 12, verse 6, and there you shall bring your burnt offerings. And then he said, and your sacrifices, which is the second type of offering. Furthermore, in this Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, he also said in the, let's stay here for a second. And this is what he says in the 27th verse. And thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood upon the altar of Yahweh thy Elohim, and the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of Yahweh thy Elohim, and thou shalt eat the flesh. In other words, sacrifices are something that can be eaten. The only sacrifice that definitely can be eaten is a burnt offering, because it is burnt all night to the Most High. Furthermore, in the book of Exodus, the 10th chapter, this is what it says. Exodus 10. And we're going to read. This is what Moses said unto Pharaoh. Verse 24. And Pharaoh called unto Moshe and said, Go ye, serve Yahweh. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moshe said, Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto Yahweh our Elohim. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not a hoof be left behind. For thereof must we take to serve Yahweh our Elohim. And we know not with what we must serve Yahweh until we come there. So this was something essential that Moses knew that was needed in order to serve the Most High. So he told Pharaoh, we got to take this. The third word that I want you to familiarize yourself with is the word tithes. And there's just unnecessary confusion when it comes to tithes, because there's different tithes. And so, but the Creator will let us know their difference, and this is why we're dealing with words, because the word of Elohim is pure unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. And what these words will do, if you don't understand them, they will find you to be a liar, because you never took the time to search them out, to seek them out, to study the pureness of each word. Tithes. In the book, going back to Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, the 6th verse, and there shall you bring your burnt offerings, number 1, your sacrifices, number 2, and then the third thing Yahweh said is your tithes. These are 3 different things right here. But watch what the Creator let us know about tithes. The first thing you want to see about tithes is in the book of Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter. Since we in Deuteronomy 14. And this is what it says here about tithes in the 22nd and 23rd verse, because this is one type of tithes. It says, Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. We got to do this every year. And thou shalt eat before Yahweh thy Elohim in a place which he shall choose, as we already said, to place his name there. The tithe of the corn, the tithe of the wine, the tithe of thy oil, the firstlings of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear Yahweh, thy Elohim, always. So this is the place where he chose, as we read in the book of Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, the 6th verse. We got to bring that to the place where he chose to place his name. But then there's another type of tithe, which is in the 26th chapter of Deuteronomy. Since we in Deuteronomy, this is what it says, and this is the difference between this tithe and the tithe we just read about, that had to go in the place that Yahweh chose. This is what it says in the book of Deuteronomy, the 26th chapter, the 12th verse. When thou hast made an end of tithing, all the tithes of thy increase, the third year, we do it every year, but then there's a third year that you're going to have to familiarize yourself with, which is the year of tithing. It has given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, that they may eat within thy gates and be filled. In other words, there's a place where you live called your gates. And in these gates, you're supposed to have some tithes that are given to the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, that they may eat. It says in the 13th verse, then thou shalt say before Yahweh thy Elohim, I have brought away the hollow things out of my house, and also have given them unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, according to all thy commandments which thou hast commanded me. I have not transgressed thy commandments, neither have I forgotten them. And many people have forgotten the commandments of Yahweh. So therefore, they do not these things. One went to Jerusalem, and one stayed in your cities, your gates, so you can have things in there for your community to be able to eat. The fourth offering, according to Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, the 6th verse, is called a heave offering. And let me show you this heave offering. This heave offering, you'll read about it in the book of Exodus, the 29th chapter, and this is what it says. Exodus 29. And this heave offering is the fourth offering. In the book of Exodus 29, this is what it says, and we're going to start reading at the 27th verse. This is what it says. And thou shalt sanctify the breast of the wave offering and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved, which is heaved up of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron's and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Israel. For it is a heave offering, and it shall be a heave offering from the children of Israel of sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto Yahweh. And so Aaron and his sons received what is called a heave offering from the children of Israel. You'll also read this in the book of Numbers 18. Let us turn there. This is what a heave offering is. And this is what it's for. And watch what it says. Numbers 18. And we're going to start reading at the 19th verse. And watch what it says. And all the heave offerings, all of them, are the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto Yahweh, because this is what we're speaking about, offerings. Have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee by a statute forever. Who is he talking about? He's talking about Aaron and his sons. It is a covenant of salt forever before Yahweh unto thee and to thy seed with thee. And Yahweh spoke unto Aaron, and thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any part among them. I am thy part and thy inheritance among the children of Israel. And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. And so this is what the heave offering is all about. And watch the 26th verse. Thus speak unto the Levites, and say unto them, when ye take of the children of Israel the tithes, which I have given you from them for your inheritance, Then ye shall offer up a heave offering of it for Yahweh, even a 10th part of the tithe. And this your heave offering shall be reckoned unto you, as though it were the corn of the threshing floor, and as the fullness of the winepress. Thus shall ye offer a heave offering unto Yahweh of all your tithes, which ye receive of the children of Israel, and ye shall give thereof Yahweh's heave offering to Aaron the priest. And out of your gifts ye shall offer every heave offering unto Yahweh of all the best thereof, even the hollow part thereof out of it. So this is how the heave offering is to be executed. Number 5, your vows. Even though many people make vows today, but they have no offering with these vows. Where is your offering with these vows? Here it is. They was you can't pay tithes. You can't do this, you can't do that. But yet you're making vows. Watch what the Creator said in the book of Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, once again. And most people don't even realize a vow is a offering. Deuteronomy 12, verse 6. And there you shall bring your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, your heave offerings in number 5, and your vows. How you bring your vows to Jerusalem, or the place where Yahweh chose to place his name? Because there's an offering for this. Watch the 11th verse of this same chapter. Then there shall be a place where Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. There you shall bring all that I command you, your burnt offering, your sacrifice, your tithe, your heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice vows which ye vow unto Yahweh. Watch the 17th verse. Start at the 16th. Only ye shall not eat the blood, ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of the corn, or of thy wine, or of thy oil, or the firstlings of thy herds or your flock, nor any of thy vows which thou vows, nor thy free will offerings or heave offerings of thy hand. See, the Almighty is very specific. The 26th verse of this same chapter. And this is what it says. Only the holy things which thou hast, and thy vows thou shalt take, and go unto the place which Yahweh shall choose. And then, last but not least, Leviticus 23, talking about vows, the 38th verse. Leviticus 23, verse 38, and this is what it says. (37 and 38). These are the feasts of Yahweh which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, burnt offering, meal offering, and sacrifice, a drink offering, everything upon this day, beside the Sabbaths of Yah, besides your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye shall give unto Yahweh. Because a vow is not just a vow, but a vow is an oath that's followed by an offering. Number 6 is your free will offerings. And watch what it says. Since we're in the book of Leviticus, let us look at Leviticus, the 22nd chapter. Leviticus 22, and this is what it says, starting at 17. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Spake unto Aaron and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, say unto them, whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for all his free will offerings, which they will offer unto Yahweh for a burnt offering, ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish, of the cattle or of the sheep or of the goats. In other words, depending on how your free will offering, what your free will offering is, there's certain laws, there's certain instructions for that. It says in the 21st verse, and whosoever offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yahweh to accomplish his vow, or a free will offering in cows or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. And then likewise in the 23rd verse, either a bullock or a lamb that have anything superfluous or lacking in any parts, mayest thou offer for a free will offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. So there's a lot of different instructions depending on the offering that you will offer to the Most High. And number 7, which is another offering of YAH'S. We read this in Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter. Let us read this again. Deuteronomy 12, verse 17. Thou mayest not eat within thy gates the tithe of thy corn, or thy wine, or thy oil, or the firstlings of thy herds, or thy flock. No, because Yahweh had a place. You can eat herds, but you cannot eat the herds that you offering unto the Most High. And the one that you offering to the Most High is your firstling. It's the firstlings. And likewise, in the book of Numbers, the 3rd chapter. Turn there. Numbers 3. The firstling of your herd. And it's a difference between a herd and a flock. And these are the things you have to study. Different laws, different statutes, different commandments, different instructions. In the book of Numbers, the 3rd chapter, it says, we'll read the verse 41. And thou shalt take the Levites for me, I am Yahweh, instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites, instead of all the firstlings among the cattle of the children of Israel. So the Almighty, the Levites belong to the Most High. And instead of Yahweh doing human sacrifice that the New Testament would tell you to do, what the New Testament will have you believe that is done, that the Almighty took his firstborn and killed it. No, not Yahweh. No. Yahweh said, and thou shalt take the Levites for me instead of all the firstborn among the children of Israel. Don't kill the firstborn. I'm going to just take the Levites to me. I'm not going to kill them, but they're going to represent the sacrifice that I would have took from the firstborn of the children of Israel. And the cattle of the Levites, instead of all the firstlings among the cattle of the children of Israel. And just one more scripture on the herds. Deuteronomy, Genesis, the 4th chapter, and this is what it says. Again, this is the 7th offering. Genesis 4:4. We'll start at 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel, and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And it looked like we understand why. Because Cain brought the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh. But you got to bring this a certain way. There's certain laws, there's certain instructions that you got to follow. And Abel brought the firstlings of his. But it didn't say that about Cain. And number 8, the firstling of your flocks. And of course, we read this in the book of Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, the 6th verse. We don't have to go back there and read that, but we will read it in Deuteronomy 14. And this is what it says, Deuteronomy 14. In the book of Deuteronomy 14, the 23rd verse, and thou shalt eat before Yahweh thy Elohim, not just bring this stuff, but you're supposed to eat before Yahweh. And he's talking about tithes. And he's talking about these offerings. And he's talking about the firstling of our flocks. Watch. And thou shalt eat before Yahweh thy Elohim in a place which he shall choose. The place is named there, the tithe of the corn, the wine, tithe of thy oil, the firstlings of the herbs, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear Yahweh, thy Elohim, always. And to let you know this stuff is not to be eaten anywhere you at, and to be done anywhere you at. Watch what it says. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which Yah thy Elohim shall choose to set his name there, when Yah thy Elohim have blessed thee, then thou shalt turn into money, bind up the money in thy hand, and shall go into place which Yah thy Elohim shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money, and for whatsoever that thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, for sheep, for wine, or strong drink, or whatsoever thy soul desire, thou shalt eat before Yah thy Elohim. And why? Because this offering, this tithe, this firstling, it didn't belong to Levi. It belonged to all the people. It belonged to the people who brought it year by year. And furthermore, Nehemiah, the 10th chapter. Let us turn there. Nehemiah 10. In the book of Nehemiah, the 10th chapter, this is what it says. And we're going to read starting at the 34th verse. And we cast the lots among the priests, the Levites, the people, for the wood offering to bring it into the house of our Elohim, after the houses of our fathers, at the set times appointed year by year. This was every year. To burn upon the altar of Yahweh our Elohim, as it is written in the law, and to bring the first fruits of our ground, the first fruit of all the fruit of our trees, year by year unto the house of Yahweh. Also the firstborn of our sons and of our cattle, as it is written in the law, and the firstlings of our herds and of our flocks, to bring to the house of Elohim unto the priests that minister in the house of our Elohim. In other words, these are the things that's for the priests. These are the things that we bring to the house of Elohim in Jerusalem. And these are the ministers that minister unto that. Burnt offerings, sacrifices, tithes, heave offerings, vows, free will offerings, the firstlings of our herds and the firstlings of our flocks. 8 different words. Until our next lesson, Yahweh love you, and so do I. Shalom.